David Kaptain and Incumbent Mayor Ed Schock. One of the questions that I have heard most asked of me and in the community is these are two very dynamic, very competent leaders. What separates them? What is the difference between them? How do they define themselves? Ed, I'll start with you. Define yourself as a mayoral candidate. What best qualifies you? How would you move the city forward? What does an Ed Schock mayor look like?
Well, I think as having been mayor for 12 years, people have a pretty good idea. But if I had to summarize my leadership style, or however you want to define it, it would be that when I see an issue or an opportunity, or issues or opportunities are presented to me by members of the public, which is most often the case. I'm not a great generator of original ideas. I'm a great thief. I grab other people's ideas and try to apply them to Elgin. But what I usually do is, through building relationships or building consensus with members of the council, try to move that issue forward, try to seize that opportunity. I'll give you an example. Members of the community came to me and said, look, we're having difficulty attracting, one of the things that could stand in the way of our attracting additional businesses and so on is our workforce development effort. We have people in Elgin who do not have the skills required to do our jobs. And so working with Pat Hayes from the private sector, working with the Chamber of Commerce, the United Way, the Illinois Department of Employment and Security, the Elgin Community College, U46, have good relations with all of those. Working with them, we come up with a plan to move the ball forward on that issue. And what can we do to enhance the skills not only of our unemployed, but our kids coming out of high school and so on, out of ECC, so that they're work ready. And we've come up with a great program, a program that, in fact, Pat Hayes and Dr. Torres and I are going to be attending in Chicago in a few weeks to make a presentation to the whole American College Testing Service on what the program in Elgin is. And I use that as an illustration of how an issue is presented or an opportunity presented and how I tackle it. Bring a lot of people into the picture, then bring that to the council members or the staff, try to build consensus around the issue with them, and move the issue forward.
And one of the things that you've been aggressive about is incentives to bring businesses in. That's a somewhat contentious issue. Talk about your philosophy about that.
I see incentives as an investment. It's like investing in the stock market or putting your money in the CD, whatever it is, you hope to get a return. You spend some money to make some money. And the criteria we've always applied and incentives that I personally applied is, what is the return to the city going to be? And in almost every incentive that we've given, the return has been manyfold. Let's take a look at the Walmart incentive, for example. I think that's probably the biggest incentive we've ever given. But it's going to return our investment to the community in the form of new taxes and jobs and so on, manyfold. So that's been my threshold criteria. What is going to be our return on investment?
Okay. Dave, you've been on the city council. Now you have good knowledge of the way that the city works. And obviously you must have a feeling that you can do things either better or differently. Tell me what a Dave Kaptain mayor would be like.
Mike, I think one of the things that I bring to the community that's a little different and something fresh is people have come up to me and said, Dave, I'm voting for you because you treat us like people and you communicate with us. You come out, your involvement in Elgin Community Network, neighborhood housing services, and the volunteer work that I do connects you to us as a community. And I feel like I represent those people, and they feel that I'm supportive of them, and I have a strong connection. I think that one thing I do is involve people in the process. Goes back to days on the Elgin Community Network when I've worked with the city of Elgin. We did a program called Popcorn and Planning, where we brought the city out to the community. Took it out to churches and schools and had public meetings on how to put together a comprehensive plan. We followed that up with Popcorn and Peddling, a similar process to put together a bikeway plan for the city of Elgin. And most recently, the Sustainability Master Plan group. And we've gotten over 100 volunteers to become involved in their community and their government. And I think overall that will make Elgin a stronger community. These people will become future leaders. They feel like they're contributing. And in the future, I think that's one of the things that's going to determine how Elgin grows as a city, is our volunteers and how they become part of our government.
There are times when the mayor obviously does need to be a part of the community and listen, but there's also times when the mayor needs to reach out to other communities, look beyond his own community. How do you see, as mayor of Elgin, Elgin's place within this larger metropolitan area?
Elgin's become its own city. We are self-sustaining, and that's part of the sustainability issue. We are separate. I'd like to consider us more than a suburb of Chicago. I think we're a standalone city, and that should be our goal. And we need to work with other communities and other cities to make projects come forward. One of the things that came up at a forum last night was transportation. How do we provide transportation to Chicago, mass transportation? Well, it's something that the city of Elgin can't do on its own. We need to work with other communities and involve other communities into a project that will benefit all of us. We need to work with federal money and state money to pay for this. You know, the city of Elgin can't provide a train service to O'Hare Airport. We need assistance with that. We need to work with our neighbors. I also have a great interest in our nearby neighbors, Dundee's, the Bartlett, South Elgin. I think we need to work with them. One important thing for us is that the times of trying to do these things all by ourselves are kind of diminishing. We need to have assistance from and shared responsibility with our neighbors, and I think that's something that I can work well within that type of foundation and work within our local community just as well.